Hey boys and girls, here is part 3 of your video. So I just left off reading this first arrow. I'm just going to go ahead and start over. Tao is a force known as the Tao represented all living things. So Tao represents all living things. It's not something you can see or touch. It's just like a feeling. The next one is to reject the world and their desires and seek worldly possessions, power, and nature. Um, so people of Taoism wanted to hone in on themselves personally. So how they are interacting with their nature around them, how powerful they are, whether they treat each other kindly or come off kind or come off mean. Right here is the yin and yang. This white shows that there is good with some bad with the black dot. And here is the yin. It's all black with a white dot, meaning it's all bad with some good. They kind of this is a symbol of Taoism, and it was a balance between good and evil. So it's a balance of between the two of heaven and earth, masculine and feminine, rational and emotional, hardness and softness, lightness and heaviness, the sun and the moon, fire and water. So it's basically two different things that contrast with each other, but when put together, they form a great circle, something that's unbreakable. So to have good, you need to have bad. Yeah, vice versa. Many people in China practice both Confucianism and Taoism today. But here are some major differences between the two. So Confucianism taught them how to behave around each other. So like I explained on that previous slide, treat others how you want to be treated. That was one of his sayings. Not word for word, but so that was how to behave around each other. And then Taoism. So it taught them how to behave towards the natural world and within themselves personally. So how to interact with the world around you, the natural world, not man-made things. So like ocean and the land and wind and water, things like that. How to behave towards things like that and how it changes you personally. So that's what Taoism is. It changes you personally. Confucianism teaches you how to be a better person towards others. Right here on this white little document, oops, you guys will be able to type in a response. I'm not able to, but on this white spot right here, you will explain the main difference between Confucianism and Taoism. I just told you guys one of the main ones. If you guys have to, you might have to go ahead and Google Confucianism and Taoism if you weren't paying attention. Hopefully you were paying attention. You'll type in your response on this white little document and then hit next. So I was kind of explaining to you guys a dynasty very briefly. China had 4 major dynasties. I'm going to break into each dynasty and talk about some of their accomplishments. The first dynasty I'm going to talk about is the Shang dynasty. They ruled along the Yellow River, which is near this area right over here. Here's the Shang dynasty in orange, and here's present-day China. So they only took up a portion of present-day China. And they ruled from 1523 to 1028 BC, before current era. Some of the accomplishments of the Shang dynasty was that writing began. They started recording down information. They used oracle bones to predict the future. That was something that they believed in. Oracle bones were the shoulder blades of ox, and they were written on and they were used to predict the future. Obviously, we're not sure if that worked or not, but that's what they believed in. Next, they developed bronze. Bronze is a type of metal. When you think of bronze, think of the color of a penny. That's a type of the color. It's not the type of material. Pennies are made out of copper, but bronze is that type of color, that brownish, silverish color to it. Next, they had accomplishments of glazed pottery and silk. Silk was made by silkworms, and it's this really thin, soft fabric that if you spin it, you can create either fancy clothes or you're able to use that material for other things. But Shang Dynasty was the first to start using silk. I once again have to stop this video and then continue on. But look out for part 4.